Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Ride with Mimic. This is a 30-minute live call every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:30 Central. This is designed to help everybody start their day or their week off with positivity, motivation, and a few tips that you can use not only to survive, but to thrive in these interesting times. My name is Scott Tarkowski. I'm co-creator and national sales director for Mimic. Mimic's a sales tool for the automotive world. For more information, check us out at themimicapp.com. And and today, if you would, when you get a chance, we are considering going to 3 days. I mean, going to 2 days a week on these calls, Monday and Friday. Just something we're toying with. So I would like your feedback. So if you would, go to the Mimic Facebook page and leave your comments there, or you can go to my personal Facebook page and leave them there as well, or text them to me. If you have any questions for our speaker today, I'm going to give you my phone number. So if you got something to write it down with, please do so at this time. It's 318-393-5219. If you have any questions while Greg is speaking, please go ahead and text them to me along with your name, and I will be more than happy to try to get them in there if we have time. A little bit of housekeeping. Please mute your phones if you haven't done so already. *6. I believe I'm saying that right. If not, Miss Denise and Dallas will take care of that for you. Big week here with Ride with Mimic. Pretty excited, actually really excited. We got Greg Taylor today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Greg in a second. But we also have Philip Dees is going to be on Wednesday. And Philip's a pastor here at a big church in the Shreveport Bossier area, North Point community. Also a very famed quarterback in the high school days and also at North Carolina. He's a tremendous speaker. He'll be Wednesday. And then on Friday, you're in for a treat. Bruce Hamilton, Lake Charles, Louisiana. Bruce has a child's pet show on TV and been doing that for a while. But he's also a nationally acclaimed speaker, and he is just an amazing guy. So that'll be Friday. So speaking of amazing guys, our guest today is Mr. Greg Taylor. I can't tell you that I know all these people that I book for the call. I wish I did. I know most of them, but I went to my friends. I went to Coach Scott Musket. I went to Danny Rogers, and I said, "Listen, who's somebody that I can invite to get on the show?" And they both said this gentleman, Greg Taylor. Greg's up in Nashville, Tennessee. He's got a company called Winning Edge. He's a certified coach, mentor, speaker, businessman. I mean, this list goes on. His wife and he are in a real estate business, been a business leader for 30 years. And if that's not enough, he's also a manager agent for his youngest son, Trent, who's the starting wide receiver for the San Francisco 49ers. So sit back and enjoy. I'm going to be taking some notes. I hope you enjoy. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Mr. Greg Taylor.
All righty. Wow. Hey, thank you, Mr. Scott. Appreciate that. And Mr. Denny and Mr. Scott, thank you all for trusting me to speaking to your all's clients and trusting my message, because today we're just going to be talking about make a play. Is everybody with me? What does make a play mean to you? Because I'm going to give you 5 weapons you need to make a play. So I just want you to think there for a minute and ponder and get all the distractions out of the way. We got to minimize and eliminate distractions. We're going to focus in on how do you make a play. So what does that mean to you? Just think about that. To me, it's creating something out of nothing. It's doing something that others are not willing to do. It's overcoming large odds against you. It's taking a mess to a message. It's taking a test to a testimony. And the biggest thing is it's getting things done when everybody else is sitting around whining and complaining about it. What a great time in our country to be making plays. While people sit and discuss it, other people out getting it done. So let me ask you this question. So now that you've written down what does make a play mean to you, what are the benefits of making plays for yourself, your team, your company, and family? What are the benefits of doing that? Okay, make a play. So what? So what do I get for it? because we're all tuned in to WIFM. What's in it for me? Well, what's in it for you? To me, in my 32 years of working, I'm 56 years old. When I'm out making plays, it's about money, finding peace, having unity, building solid ground under me so others can grow to be their best. So what are your benefits? So everybody showed up at 8:30 today, so I applaud you because you came here for a reason. You came here to take another step. So what's the benefit of you making a play and helping you take another step? So why are you here this morning? What are you going to get out of this? This is 30 minutes. It's going to be intense conversation at a high speed. I probably won't go as fast as Dwayne Marino from about 2 weeks ago because he was pretty fast paced. But anyway, why are you here? What's the benefits? What do I get out of this? Here's some of my favorite playmakers in my life. My biggest one's my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. He died for mankind, unconditional love. My mom and dad did not throw me out with the dishwater. They gave me solid ground to grow on. Ooh, I was a handful. My grandfather worked in the deep mines in eastern Kentucky. And for 50 years, my grandmother said he never complained. He made a play. My wife and kids made some plays too, because they had high tolerance and patience for a wild, hyperactive person like myself. Mark Davis, my first mentor at Averitt Express, he accepted me as I was. He didn't expect anything else but me. I was just a rough country boy from Corbin, Kentucky, dumb jock that landed in business. How did I ever do that? I have no idea. Esther was one of the bravest people in the Bible. She was willing to confront the king and potentially be killed for her people. Nick Buchek, he has no arms and no legs, but he's still a motivational speaker. Helen Keller, she could not hear, see, or talk, but she learned how to communicate and inspire people. Wow, make a play, Miss Keller. Martin Luther King changed America and gave his life to a worthy cause. Marcus Luttrell, the lone survivor, hey, did that guy make a play? He got out. I don't know if you know that story or not, but man, I would look this guy up and listen to some of his interviews. That guy is keyed into his purpose. And the guest speaker last Wednesday sold 1,582 cars in a year. Ali Reed, I hope I said his name properly. And he did that. He made some plays, 1,582 cars in a year. Wow. And he connected, what I heard him say, he connected with people and gave them value every day of their life. Yes, he made plays. So who are some of the playmakers in your life that inspired you to make a play? So those people that you're thinking about right now, those dynamic people, they just seem to get it done. What is something unique about them? You know, what type of mindset do they have? You know, how do they see life? How do they see problems? How do they deal with problems? How do they treat people? So think about that. Who are some of the playmakers in your life that has inspired you to make a play? Just ponder on that for a minute. Get a couple in your head. I challenge you to write things down because if you can see it, you'll remember it better. So who are those people? Well, one of the biggest plays made in my life that I personally witnessed was my mom. My brother and I had a friend. My mom and dad had a 18, 17, 16, and I was 14 years old. I was the last one. So my 15-year-old friend called and said his mom and dad left him. And I went, what do you mean? Is your mom and dad left? Well, I came home from school and there's nobody here and all the furniture's gone. And my mom, she said, who are you talking to? I said, my buddy. She said, well, let me have that phone. They had a little conversation. She looked at me and she did not blink an eye. She said, let's go get him. I was like, I didn't understand that at that point at 14 years old, but now at 56 years old, having 2 kids, having the responsibility. Well, she had 4 kids. They're barely making ends meet. And she took the responsibility of bringing someone else in. Wow. My mom made a play that day. And my brother now, he was my buddy. Now he's my brother. He knows that mom made a play for him today. So that's not about business, but it's about something inside of you. And Stephen Covey talks about the heart and the spirit of a person. The heart is, I got to be connected to something bigger than me. The spirit, the heart is, does anybody care about me? The spirit, I need to be connected to something bigger than me. I don't know how she did that and reasoned through that, but I know she had a purpose inside her heart and her mind to go make that play. So the frame of mind I want you in today is why not me? Why not me? I want you to put WN blank blank, WN blank blank. Just write that down on a piece of paper. Okay? So the story I'm going to tell you is about my son Trent. He's going into his 4th year as a 49er. And he was probably a sophomore in college. He came home to Nashville, which he was raised in Shreveport, Louisiana. Went to high school at Evangel Christian Academy, as well as my other son Trey did, which Trey played football at University of Arkansas Monticello. So Trent was working out, and we came home. I said, Trent, have you ever thought about playing in the NFL? He said, well, I guess you do. If you're playing college football, the next step is playing in the NFL. I said, but have you really thought about it? Have you really sat down and thought about it? Meaning, hey, do you understand that if you think you work hard now, you got to raise the bar a little bit? Hey, you don't like your coach critiquing you? Hey, you got to go ask your coach to critique you. You got to go change your diet, change your sleep pattern. You got to do more things than anybody else is ever willing to do it. Okay? And the sad thing about this is, Trent, you got a 0.5% of chance of making a play and making it to the NFL. And I said, so what now what? So if you don't make it, guess what? I'm your dad. You're my son. Nothing changes. If you do make it, woo, that's a big deal. But if you don't make it, it's no big deal, because I told him, because if you go through that process and you don't get your goal, you don't get your prize, but I guarantee you God's watching you, other people are watching you, and I guarantee there'll be leaders in your life that'll find you a place to take all of that work ethic, determination, and endurance. They will find you a place to make plays. So in that WN blank blank, I want you to write, because I would call him and say, hey, you doing your WNTT? Why not Trent Taylor? So my WN is why not GT? Why can't GT, a dumb boy from Corbin, Kentucky, why can't he ride with Mimic on a Monday morning at 8:30 on 4/20/20? Why can't you? So what's your purpose in life? What's your goals? What's some examples? And why not you? So I want to make sure you write that down on a piece of paper. WN and your initials. Because we're going to be talking about right now, I'm going to call them weapons. 5 weapons that playmakers must possess in their heart and spirit to make a play. Okay? Because this is about you. This is about you, your family, your career, your company, your business. How can I make a difference? How can I make a play? So today we're going to discuss those 5 weapons. 1 is understand your purpose in life. 2, positive mental attitude. 3, personal accountability. 4, take calculated risk. 5, understand that failure is not fatal. Success is not final, but not trying is certain death. Weapon number 1, understand your purpose in your life. I was 43 years old when I finally figured out my purpose in life was to coach people to be their best version of themselves and solve problems. Well, I figured out that I'm not an entrepreneur, but I am the guy that helps the entrepreneur. I'm his wingman. And the peace that brought me and my level of focus, it just went through the roof. So let me ask you a question. To understand your purpose in life, here's some questions for you. What makes you cry? What gets you fired up about life? What makes you take another step? What would you do for free? Your purpose is not what you do, it's why you do it. So once you can find that purpose and use it, wow, you're going to be making plays, guarantee it. Here's a nice little quote from John Maxwell. If you know who you are and then give everything you've got to your dreams, you can achieve anything your heart desires. So my dad knew that I was a Y kid, being a hyperactive ADHD kid. My dad knew if he can't get me to understand the purpose to why I go to the garden, I'm not going to the garden. Because every time we had to go to the garden, they spanked me because I'm not going, because I don't understand the purpose of going to the garden when you go to the grocery store. Well, I didn't understand the part about saving the money. That's the part I missed. But anyway, during this coronavirus, at the beginning, I got a little frustrated, angry. I lost about $15,000 worth of business because events were canceled. I got a little upset. But did I grow through that, or did I stop in that? So I sat down and wrote myself a coronavirus mission. Here's my coronavirus mission. I know something good is going to come out of this uncertain situation. Let's get a good inspirational book, connect with your family, and think deeper than ever before. Then be still, pray, think deeper, and listen to the small voice in our spirit telling us how to solve a great mystery in the world or in our life. So what is your lifelong purpose? What's your purpose in the midst of this pandemic? What can you do to make a play? Tap into your purpose, and I guarantee you, you're going to make a play. Know that it is the most purpose-driven guy you have ever seen. People have got to see that in you, that you're the most purpose-driven guy that they have ever seen. Weapon number 2, positive mental attitude, PMA. Here's a question for you. What would those around you say about your attitude? Would they say you have PMA, positive mental attitude, or would they say you have UMS? UMS is the ugly mood syndrome. So reading a book, Believe and Achieve, back when I was 24, 25 years old by W. Clement Stone gave me the best definition of a positive mental attitude over the last 32 years. It says a positive mental attitude is a conscious effort to replace negative self-defeating thoughts with positive self-fulfilling thoughts. Is everybody with me? Be conscious to your thought life. If it's negative, you got to replace it with a positive. And this process must be practiced every minute until it becomes a habit like anything else. PMA is habit forming like UMS. The great thing about our attitude, people, is that we control it. Our past don't control our attitude. Our parents don't control our attitude. Our kids, our wife, our friends, our job, our boss. Nobody controls our attitude besides ourselves. So the question is, how do you know if you got a PMA, if you got UMS? Well, in my life, when I went home and my boys saw me at the door and they took off, well, they kind of told me I had UMS. As my wife would look, well, if you come in with a better attitude, they might run to you. But right now, you come in and start barking orders, they see you as UMS, so they don't want to talk to you. So that was a good lesson for me. And I'm going to tell a great story on my oldest son, Trey. He lives here in Nashville now, and he's in pricing and sales for a construction company. He was probably 16, 17 years old. I was home from work, sitting in a little desk in a hallway, and I guess something didn't go right. And just like GT does, he has a little temper and he gets a little jacked up. So I slammed my desk on the table. So he walked in there, and this is beautiful. He just walked in there, put his hand on my shoulder. He said, "Dad, it's going to be okay." Well, I just started crying. So let me ask you a question. Are you aware of your attitude? Because how you make people feel is real. Because their attitude sets the tone. So I'm going to challenge you today in your inner circle. You need to find out, do they think you have a positive mental attitude, PMA, or do they think you have a UMS, meaning ugly mood syndrome? Because this is your opportunity to take another step. This is your opportunity to make a play. Because without a positive mental attitude, we will struggle as humans, as I know I do, making a play without having a great positive mental attitude. So, hey, put that PMA in your tool bag and let's ride with Mimic. Weapon number 3, personal accountability. The ultimate example of personal accountability is the crucifixion of Christ. He made a play for mankind, but he had to give his life for it. Personal accountability is the mindset of asking yourself a question. What play can I make to become the best version of myself or to help my team? And my favorite saying on this is from a man called Harrison Huff. He worked at Avery Express. When I was there, they were a $50 million company. When I left, they were a $250 million company. Now they're like a $1.5 billion company. That's a lot of plays to be made. And this is a key phrase that I know that's still in that culture at Avery Express in Cookeville, Tennessee. If it's got to be, it's up to me. That's powerful. That's looking in the mirror and looking at all the uncontrollable circumstances going on in your life and you're standing there in strength with courage, looking in the mirror and saying, if it's got to be, it's up to me. So what do you do in times of failure? Do you blame people? Do you complain? Do you become depressed? Hey, it is okay if you go through those emotions. The big question is, are you going to hold yourself accountable? And are you going to grow through those emotions? Did everybody hear that? Holding yourself accountable to blaming and complaining and being depressed and anxiety, because I get those things often. But the question is, I hold myself accountable and I help myself grow through those emotions. Because you and me, we must be our biggest fan and our worst critic. Because once people see that we hold ourselves accountable, that's going to give them the courage and hope to take another step. Weapon number 4, taking calculated risk. Hey, I will jump into the unknown, but I will study the situation first. Because if you got game, you'll make the Hall of Fame. If you don't have game, you're going to have some shame. And game is when you gather information, analyze it, make a plan, and execute. Game. But the great thing and the tough thing that warriors do is the follow-up, is making those adjustments. Because you've heard the old saying, after all, no risk, no reward. Some millennials would say, hey, you got to take your shot, shoot or shoot, but do your homework first, then fight through the ambiguities of life and make that play. Because when I was a kid, I wanted to play NFL. That was my whole goal in life. So I assessed those risks. I don't know if I probably didn't consciously do it, but the worst thing is going to happen to me. People are going to make fun of me. I said, I don't care about that because I'm going to make a play. It's just like starting my own business in transportation. What if I lose? So what? At least I'm going to be able to 5X my revenue once I don't make it. What if I start my own coaching business? What's going to happen? Well, worst thing that can happen, people laugh at me. I lose some money. I got to lower my lifestyle. So what? Hey, I'm in it. So let's go for it. Or I just got to shut up and go get a job. So that's the mentality of make a play, take calculated risks. So what do you choose to do today? Are you taking calculated risks? I say go for it. The worst thing you can do is what? Whatever your goals and dreams are today, what's the calculated risk? I go best case, medium case, worst case. I go right to worst case. And if I can survive worst case, I'm in. Let's go. Let's get on this thing. And we'll adjust as we go. So my charge to you today is, hey, go for it. Weapon number 5, failure is not fatal. Success is not final, but not trying is certain death. So the question is, do you keep playing hard after defeat? Well, most people won't. But successful people among us look at success and failure as an opportunity to learn and grow. They are not despondent in defeat, nor overly excited by victory. Rather, successful people view their experience as just a part of a greater process as they stride towards ultimate improvement. Wow. When I read this in a book, and I can't remember the book I got this out of, and I was 23, 24, working at Averitt Express, man, I had inferiority complex, intellectual complex, financial complex. Man, I had a small man's complex, period. But man, when I read this was like a freedom card. This is a freedom of failure card. Because when you become free to think, guess what happens to our brain? Creativity will explode in your mind. Being free of failure is an awesome, awesome, awesome feeling. Because I deal with this all the time. Because these things don't go away. These weapons are everyday weapons to go be free. I like the way Skip Holtz says it. He's the son of Lou Holtz. He's the head coach at Louisiana Tech. When they won, you got 24 hours to celebrate. If you lose, you got 24 hours to grieve. Trent calls it this way. Trent says stay in the middle of the road. You don't get too low when you lose. Don't get too high when you win. Just kind of stay in the middle of the road because tomorrow's going to be a new day. And real quick on Rule 84, I want you to go back to the future. Put yourself in a rocking chair at 84 years old and start thinking about today. Wish I coulda, woulda, or I'm so glad I did. You're going to be sitting in that rocking chair just like my dad was. And my dad passed away 6 months ago. 84 years old, sitting in the rocking chair. You got an all crap bucket to the left I'm so glad I did bucket to the right. So when you got to make decisions, failure, success, what will people say? Don't worry about that. What will you say at 84 years old? I say you're going to tell yourself to make a play. So just to review real quick, understand to make a play, understand your purpose in life. 2, positive mental attitude. 3, personal accountability. 4, take calculated risk. 5, understand that failure is not fatal, success is not final, but not trying is certain death. So I scream, as my wife would say, you're talking too loud. But anyway, write down 3 things that made you pause, or say, I do that, so keep doing it, or I can do that, or I don't do that, or I need help on that. Because I want you to get, if you can get 3 things out of this 30 minutes that Scott has blessed everybody with, what's 3 things that you can do to help you make a play to change the course of your family, change the course of your business, change the course of your life? And last Wednesday, Ala Rita said something very powerful after he said all of those magics to sell 1,300 some odd cars in a year. Incredible. Or it's 1,500, something like that. Because he said you got to go get a coach, because Tom Brady and Nick Saban both have personal coaches, and they are never satisfied with their current status. Because Ali said a coach mentor can see things that you cannot. Man, when he said that, I was like, preach on, brother. He said a coach will enhance who you are. He said a coach mentor will show you your unconscious strengths and your past playmaking experiences to allow you to determine your next best step. So if there's anything that I can do for you, please call me at 318-230-6481. Send me an email at greg@findyourwinningedge.com. To get my weekly blog, I call it my weekly fuel. You can go to my website, www.findyourwinningedge.com. And my social media handle is Winning Edge Greg. So thank you for your attention. I hope and pray that you can take 1, 2, or 3. If you just get 1 out of here, go make a play today, and you be a difference changer for the world. Thank you all very much for listening.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. If you don't have if you're not excited right now, I can't really help you. You know, you got to bring something to the universe, guys. I got 3 pages of notes. Greg, I thank you so much. You out there still, Greg?
Oh yeah, Coach. Shoot, I thank you. Everybody got something.
I got it written down. WNST.
Yeah, WW. There you go. WNST. There you go.
Yeah, I got that written down. That's going on the board, dry erase board right here, and that's going in my planner.
There you go.
I got a list of stuff here. But anyway, guys, I know you enjoyed that. Greg, we appreciate you. Welcome back anytime. One more time, though, before we go, if you would, go a little bit slower and tell them how to get your text, because you do a daily text that I get, right?
Correct.
Yeah. How do they get that daily text from you? I think this, guys, if you have, you got to get this text. Greg fires it out, what, 7 o'clock in the morning, I guess?
That's my daily routine is trying to be that, but as everyone know, life happens. But yeah, that's my scheduled time.
Can you tell them how to get that text?
Yeah, just send me an email and give me your name and phone number and email address. You can send it to my email address, greg@findyourwinningedge.com.
And I've got that information. I'm sorry.
If you want my weekly blog, I call it my weekly fuel to give you energy. You can go to my website, which is findyourwinningedge.com.
Yeah.
And you can sign up there.
Guys, take advantage of this kind of stuff. It can do nothing but make you better than you are today. So with that being said, Greg, I appreciate you a ton. And guys, thank you for riding with Mimic, and we will see you on Wednesday.
Thanks, Scott. Thank you. Thanks to everybody. God bless everybody. Have a great day. Make a play.
Make a play.
Make a play, Coach. Let's go.